this is our second pitch practice in deconstruction. I'm Maggie again. Inez is in the office. We did ask it to be virtual because when you're pitching your 3-minute pitch to the group, it will be virtual, not in person. So we want you to get comfortable with this medium and the fact that you have to set it up in your home so you can see what you're doing. And maybe you want to print your notes or speaker's notes separately from having it on the screen, but you'll be able to figure that out based on this time and next time. So here's how it works. We are going to be having the guinea pig go first. John Diedenhoffen signed up first, so he gets to go. And then we'll give feedback about the pitch. It's only 1 minute, goes really fast, but you do have to hit a couple of highlights. And then we'll take everybody else who signed up and we'll go back to back to back. And then we're going to have voting on which of these presentations we want to hear a 3-minute pitch from. So while we're giving the feedback, the link will be in the chat for you to do your voting. There's 2 different types of votes. There's judges. Jeff and I are the judges, and Nez too. And then everybody else is just participants. So that's where you should vote in whichever category you fit into. Okay, go ahead, Sean.
So my question is, you mentioned that we have to hit certain points during the 1-minute pitch. Which points would that be? That way I can.
Okay. Well, you've seen my pitch decks 101 before, Yeah. So the main points when you have a longer amount of time are problem, solution, market size, competitors, business model, the team, and the ask. So in a 1-minute pitch, you should be talking about the problem and your solution, and you do have enough time to talk about how big a market is. And then you should say how it is that you're going, what you think you might charge for it. But with a 1-minute pitch, you're really just trying to pique enough interest to get people to say, oh, tell me more.
Got it. Okay.
Because the 1-minute pitch is like something you would do at a cocktail party.
Yep.
A parent conference or whatever, where you're just meeting somebody for the first time and they ask, hey, what do you do?
Got it.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, no slides in the 1-minute pitch, just
no
you
slides,
chatting.
just yeah.
No slides. So, hello, my name is Sean Gigermosa. I am the founder and CEO of Claritative AI. Basically, when product managers and development teams encounter the challenge of sifting through massive amounts of customer feedback from customer conversations, they need to effectively prioritize features just to achieve a more user-aligned roadmap. They would typically use manual sorting either through Miro or FigJam or whatnot to be able to do this task. The problem with that, with the sheer volume of complex data, it takes a long time to be able to handle and make sure that nothing is risked by overlooking any critical insights. So what we built is a solution that helps product teams harness AI to transform unstructured feedback into a prioritized, actionable insight that enable product teams to truly develop products that resonate with users.
Okay, cool.
I was looking at time, so I didn't want to continue because I didn't want to be buzzed. So.
Okay, so you get immediate feedback, and John, who was supposed to be here, said he was waiting in some sort of ticket tailor waiting room, but I don't know what that means. Okay, so Sean, back to you. I think you described the problem too much. And so I was having a hard time figuring out what it was you were doing to solve that problem. So you need to be more focused.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and my feedback's similar, right? It's I've heard of all of these products that you mentioned, Miro and FigJam and all the rest, but I was having a hard time tracking like who the persona is that has this problem, so I could imagine or better follow what the solution was. And you spent you spent so much time talking about it that you didn't get to tell us like how big the market was, that this is a big fat juicy market or anything like that. So I think the challenge, and this is always hard, is to reduce your problem and solution to like 30 seconds, just enough to tease it. And it's a really hard thing to do. So you're certainly not going to be alone in that tonight, Sean.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. So that brings us to Zoara, sorry.
All right.
So whenever you're ready, if you heard me tell Sean that I don't start the clock until you introduce yourself and your company.
Okay. Hi, my name is Vera Jefferson. I'm the CEO and founder of Fade to Stage. So Fade to Stage is a professional screenwriting platform where screenwriters can get their scripts professionally table read, performed, and evaluated by actors. So the way I came up with this idea is actually very interesting. So I'm a writer, I'm a screenwriter, I'm trying to get into the writing industry. And I was writing screenplays, my friends are writing screenplays, and I noticed that a lot of us struggle with our characters and our dialogue. So one of our friends in the group suggested that we start doing table reads. At first I was kind of nervous about this because I'm like, wow, I have never the idea of just sitting down and watching people read your screenplay out loud to you just made me nervous because I have a lot of social anxiety. But eventually I did it, and some of my friends did it as well. And we got our notes from the actors, and we got our notes from the actors and everything. And our scripts turned out a lot better. And I was like, wow, this is perfect. And ever since, I was out to create a service that could do the table reads and everything because I feel very time is up.
Yeah, your time is up. Okay. We're not giving feedback now, so we're going to move on to the next person. So, who is that? Okay, Michael, whenever you're ready.
All right, I am ready. Can you guys hear me?
We do hear you.
Okay. All right. So hi, I'm Michael Kelly, and I'm presenting Double. So buying clothes online that don't fit the way you want is always a letdown, and they don't make you feel the confidence you expected when you actually order those items, and returns create a huge financial and resource burden on companies and infrastructure. So that's why we created Double, the Tailor Network, so you can shop with confidence knowing that clothes will fit before you buy them, and you'll earn cash back on purchases. Find other users of similar size and shape to discover new items or entire outfits. We also drastically reduce the burdens of returns on shoppers and retailers. This will also be available as a mobile app and for phones and tablets, and as a browser extension on desktops and laptops. So the revenue model is going to come from revenue sharing or an affiliate until we have formal relationships with the retailers. It's free for users, but a premium version offered for users. We also sell an API connection to brands to link our data with their existing users, allowing review section filters for higher quality conversions. So the team is made up of myself and my co-founder. I'm the CEO. My co-founder is the CTO, and together we have a combined 20 years of military experience as officers in the U.S. Air Force.
Okay, you went over a little bit, but not horrible. Okay, Chastity, I'll start the timer when you introduce your name and company.
Okay. All right. So my name is Chastity, and I'm the founder of Second Chance Enterprise. And why rent when you can own? When is the right time to buy land? We have an online coaching business that is a one-stop shop. We are in the real estate industry, and the real estate industry has been a lucrative business for a very long time, for many, many decades. So we also have a credit team that helps people tap into $90,000 in funding just by using a credit score. And a lot of people don't know that. So we also help our clients learn how to increase their credit score and then use that money as a down payment for their first property. Now, I know you guys are all probably wondering, why would this be important? So we had over 100 clients fill out forms before booking a meeting, and they wanted to get their first property or start an Airbnb business, but they were lacking 3 things: knowledge, money, and time. So we improved our business by creating the solution to address their concerns.
Okay, that's good timing. Very good. Okay. And at that point, I would say, yeah, tell me more. Okay, so let's go to John is here now, so we can listen to him.
Okay, fantastic. So I should be able to talk right now. I'm not
Yes,
sure how I look on your screen, but it should be good to go. So whatever you all, let's see. So I will go ahead, and if you want, we can start, right?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Good evening. I'm John Diedenhoffen, and I founded Deeds Enterprises, LLC, Cyber and Space. Our ethical hacking of space systems with artificial intelligence will provide value to the U.S. government and the aerospace and defense industry by finding cyber vulnerabilities in our space systems before our adversaries do. A Nevada-based, SBI-certified, service-disabled veteran-owned small business, we open with professional services and move to SaaS subscriptions as we develop our AI models. In order to deliver value to our customers, we will partner with StartUpNV, UNLV, UNR's Sierra Accelerator for Growth and Entrepreneurship, and AFCEA, the Armed Forces Communications Electronics Association, who will all help us gain access to fellow Nevadans and veterans for their expertise to develop and deploy our solutions. We seek $200K from Angel NV to win and excel at U.S. government contracts with rock-solid compliance and unassailable integrity. Thank you.
Oh, good timing. Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, my name is Sheldon Gabriel. I am the founder and CTO of the security and smart buildings platform, Sagrada. Sagrada is an access control management platform that helps security systems integrators and building owner operators create innovative safety applications and tenant services while seamlessly managing the daily operational needs of a building. We have established partnerships with 8 security and buildings controls manufacturers and are creating relationships with property management firms. So if this is something that would be of interest to your investment portfolio, reach out to me. Thank you.
Oh, that was really quick. Okay, you got it done in about half a minute. Okay. I think we've heard from everybody that we're supposed to hear from. So that means that Sean, you get to go a second time. So I'm going to promote you again, and you can redo your presentation.
All right. Well, hopefully this is going to be a lot better.
Go for it.
All right. Well, hello again. My name is Sean Yagigramosa. I'm the founder and CEO of Claritative AI. Product managers right now struggle with the process of prioritizing overwhelming amounts of customer feedback from conversations. Existing methods are time-consuming and often miss crucial insights. And that's the reason why we made Claritative AI. We use AI to enable product managers to automate the analysis of customer feedback, providing clear prioritization of product features. Our platform delivers actionable insights faster than manual methods, ensuring strategic decision-making. The software market is expanding and growing year over year. The data-driven decision-making as a market with the advent of AI is constantly expanding. And thus, we believe that this, our solution in a B2B SaaS environment would be beneficial for tech companies worldwide.
Perfect timing. Okay. All right, so now we're going to enter the voting form into the chat. So you all get to vote on which companies you want to hear more from. The companies that are going to do the 3-minute pitch, and they can use a deck to do this 3-minute pitch. And while everybody is voting, we're going to give feedback on the overall pitches that we heard tonight. And Jeff, do you want to start?
Sure. So I think there were some people that had clearly practiced and had a bit of a script written down, and I think those folks came across the clearest. They were able to describe their problem crisply, what their solution was, and leaving room to talk about the market and the business model if they could. So getting those things in was what made some of them stand out. And Sean, I got to tell you, your second pitch was way better than your first pitch. I didn't understand what you were doing the first time. Now I've got it and I understand it. So great improvement. The face-to-face pitch for the actors idea. I'm going to ask, I think, check your mic or have some other people do it. You were a little muffled. I had to really concentrate to hear what you were saying. So I'm not sure that I actually got it, but and I think that was just, I don't know, maybe it was just a little too close or a little too far. So there was a mic issue, I think, there. But like I said, the ones that did the best had a script, had clearly practiced it, and were able to cover those three main points of the problem, solution, and maybe a little bit on the market and the business model.
Okay, yeah, my overall impression was that the process was described in more detail than was necessary for me to understand why I would be interested in this. So, like Zora, I couldn't tell why a table read was going to help. I didn't get that. So, like jumping ahead, I think is probably good advice for you. Chastity, the buying of homes to either, and I couldn't tell if we were trying to work with Airbnb properties or if we were trying to buy a house, or if we were trying to leverage the income from like group buying of an Airbnb would give you, yeah, so like getting to the really unique thing that you're doing for people early on and then adding some color afterwards is kind of a good way to approach the 1 minute pitch. Yes, Sean, your second presentation was much better. Sheldon, Sagrada, I didn't take a lot of notes, so I must have been listening and hearing all of these things really quickly back to back. It's hard to keep track. John, ethical hacking of space systems so that you do it before our enemies do. How do you make money at that? I would just, like, do you have to hack it before they know that you're doing it so that it's like, it's stealthy? And then how do you get them to pay for it? Yeah, so I'm not sure how you make money, John. And let's see, did we talk about, oh, Michael Kelly, your clothes thing is interesting. You said it was bespoke, so that means it's custom. And how does it compare to like regular suitings? Okay. So Chastity is an online coaching business that helps individuals learn how to get the funding to manage Airbnb. Okay, that is a great explanation right there. And I think that should be part of your 1 minute pitch. Naz, what was your impression of the pitches?
Overall good. I definitely wanted to hear a little bit more about the target market on a few of them.
Okay. Good. Jeff, anything else you want to add? We're trying to give people a few minutes to vote.
All right. So I am definitely curious about Michael's affiliate. I like you clearly identified affiliate marketing. If you know what that is, that's a really clear business model. So that was good. Sean's presentation the second time, around identifying exactly who his target market was with product managers, and using AI to automate the analysis again, very clearly articulated. I like you. I was not quite sure on the table reads exactly why that was important. So I think that's something that could be clearer in terms of criticism. The Chastity on the real estate thing, I wasn't sure exactly who the customers were, but I did like what you wrote in the chat much better than what you presented online. I thought it was clearer. And perhaps that's just what it takes, is, you know, being able to write it down really clearly and then be able to say that. So I thought that your second chance, writing it in the chat was better than the original presentation. So good for the improvement there. John, I'd heard you pitch before, so I understand that, you know, you're working on professional services and you want to make it into a product. That's interesting. I understand, again, it was clear, white hat hacking. Most people know what that is. And it's fair to think that somebody would, and if they have questions about what that means, they can ask. And I thought, Sheldon, you started really strong with a nice, clear explanation, because that was my note to myself, was clear, that, you know, what exactly it was that you were doing. So that you were dealing with the property management folks and that you were helping them with their security. So I thought that was a good thing that made me curious to want to know, okay, so how does that work? So, and that's exactly the kind of feeling you want to leave somebody with a 1-minute pitch, so they ask you more questions. Have I given enough feedback, Maggie, so that everybody's had a chance to vote?
Yes.
Do we have enough votes now that we feel like we've got a
Yes.
fair enough representation for our top 3?
Yes, I think that we have a pretty good representation of the top 3. So we've got Sean Gigramosa going to pitch. John with Deeds Enterprises is going to pitch, and then Sheldon is going to pitch.
So that means they can use slides if they want to. They don't have to, but they can use slides if they want to.
Most of the people who signed up early already said they had slides. I've changed the timer to 3 minutes, and let's have Sheldon go first.
Hello, everyone. Once again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present the deck. So, as I mentioned before, I am the founder and CTO of AI-tronic Systems, and our platform is called Sagrada. So first off, let's actually start with the problem. So pretty much, we are definitely living in times to where we can actually really improve our processes, especially with the way we live and work, especially after the pandemic, with regards to hybrid work experiences, as well as being able to improve the living experiences, whether you're living on a commercial property or even in working in a commercial property. However, we have these problems here. Technology and data, they're just not being used effectively to run these buildings. It would actually really help if the systems that are actually running these buildings had the insights into what the context and the needs were. The property management firms, they don't actually have the context to this data. They lack the insights. And as well as the building and security supply chains, they're really struggling. They're having a hard time really adapting to how you can be able to utilize the technology to place this context, this data into context. And they're trying to be able to transition from old ways into new ways, but they're kind of having some growing pains. Pretty much currently, this is how property management and control firms are handling or are currently handling that approach or this problem. But there are, with these two cases, they're either doing a DIY approach or, as I mentioned before, the security and buildings controls providers and service providers, they have been used to doing the same thing that they've been doing for decades. But however, they're really trying, they're definitely running into the rub of actually doing business the old way when they they're having issues with actually addressing the new needs that the property management owners, especially those who want to focus on retaining occupants, whether it be residents or whether it be the more corporate occupants of a building. And they want to be able to make sure that they can retain and reduce churn. So the solution to that, the solution would be a platform that is basically an operating system and an app store for being able to appeal not only to the functionality of the systems, but once we've had this sort of baseline system, we can then build higher level applications that the tenants would ultimately benefit from, but the property owners can also benefit from as well.
Sheldon,
Yes.
you're 20 seconds over your 3-minute time limit.
Oh, gosh.
So we're going to give you direct feedback right now. You spent 2 minutes and 43 seconds on the problem. That left you very little time to talk about the solution. And there was no time to talk about the market or how you're going to make money. You do have a market slide here. So you need to be a bit more pithy. You need to understand, even in a 10-minute pitch, spending 2 minutes and 43 seconds on the problem is too long. You really only need to spend about a minute on the problem, because investors are going to be more interested in the market opportunity, how you plan to make money, how you plan to go to market, and the team members and the ask. Those things are more important. The problem should be readily identifiable, so it shouldn't take more than a minute to talk about it.
Yep. And I'll go even one step further. You should be able to talk about your problem in 30 seconds. And you know, that's, you have to get it, you have to script it in a way that you can talk about your problem. 45 seconds at the longest. And maybe a minute on your solution, and then the rest of the pitch should be about the market, your business model, and the rest. Because how you turn your solution to this quickly described problem into something that an investor is going to make money at, that's where you want to spend the majority of your time. So I think if you script it out and have like a 3-minute script, 5-minute script, and a 10-minute script for your opportunity, and that's general advice for everybody, that you know, you have a 30-second tab for your problem, maybe a 1-minute tab for your solution, so that no matter which of your presentations you're using, you're ready to go. So it's a little more preparation. I think you'll be good. But you know, I got to say, I was a little curious when I saw how big the market was. So I wish you'd gotten to it a little bit more quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason that we focus on the 3-minute pitch, because that is your first opportunity with the Angel NV Angels, is going to be a 3-minute online pitch. It's not an in-person pitch. And from that 3-minute pitch, people are going to be deciding whether they want to hear a 10-minute pitch from you. So you do have to be pithy and get to covering the things that the investors want to hear about. Okay, next we're going to go to Sean. Sean, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you start sharing your screen. We're not going to start timing you until we can see your stuff. And once again, I do wait until you guys say your name and company.
All right. Hello again. My name is Sean. I'm the founder and CEO of Clarative. But first, let me introduce you to Claire. Claire is a customer-centric chief product officer. She's basically has the strategic vision in product leadership. She has very clear, keen insights into market trends that fuels her passion for steering product management. She loves customers, and she loves talking to customers, and she loves to empower her teams. However, Claire has a problem. She's stuck at back-to-back meetings, as with most product managers, and to do her work properly, she has to multitask, which causes a lot of details to be missed. Claire gets so many feature requests from customers that she has difficulty in deciding on what to build. And due to those missed details, a lot of the development, additional costs are incurred in development due to rework in the code. At a macro level, 50% of projects in the US are costs, are overrun in costs. So Claire, in this case, is not alone. This problem costs US companies billions of dollars. 2018, I think it was 150 billion. And that's the reason why we built Clarative. We are a product management platform enabled by AI. We automate documentation so Claire can focus on the conversation. With Clarative, Claire saves time by turning her conversations into actionable insights. With our topic ranking, Claire can then zero in on what to build. And using Clarative, Claire can streamline her product processes. With every detail captured, rework is reduced and significantly cuts costs. The market size is pretty big. AI is growing at a rate of 36.8 CAGR. Our TAM is, for AI spend globally is 118 billion. Within that, our SAM is 29.5 in the NLP segment. Our SOM is within, I would say, 5 to 8 years is 331 million. Our competition in this space is usually a lot of you see one right now in this call, Otter, Fireflies, Assembly, but really what we see as our main competitions are the two products, Craftful and Product Word AI, which are product management or product development tools. However, they're very siloed, and where our USP is in the automatic topic creation, the ranking, and of course the updating of product solutions. We're going to be a B2B SaaS solution, with 3 different tiers: Essential, Pro, and Strategic, at $250, $790, and $990 per month, respectively. This is
Sean, you're out of time. So you went about 10 seconds out. Well, probably 7 seconds by the time I interrupted you. So you spent less time on the problem, but you spent more time on the solution. So you did problem and solution took up 2 minutes. So that's 2/3 of your time in a 3-minute pitch. You did get to cover the market, the competition, and the business model, which was good. But we could have had more if you had spent a little bit less time on the solution. Introducing Claire as a customer persona, it makes it relatable, but I think you spent too much time with her and then not enough just saying, our software records it so she can, your one line was really good, so she can concentrate on the conversation. That was very good, but it could have come earlier in your pitch. And so so you never did get to an ask. Jeff, what do you say? Yeah,
same. I really liked Claire. I got to tell you, that made it. Claire is a product manager. She's on phone calls all day. She can't keep track of the details. Our product, an AI-enabled product manager, keeps track of the details for her. That's it. I think I just did it in about 15 seconds. And then you move on to the solution and a little bit about how it works. Then I think that would have left you enough time to get to the rest of your slides in sort of a normal, orderly fashion, and we would have been able to hear your ask and everything else. I think just getting really crisp on that solution, and the competition slide really helped. Just seeing Otter and Fireflies on there, it was like, oh, it is what I think it is. That's how what my reaction was. It's like, all right, I thought I knew what it was, and then I saw that. It was like, okay, now I get it. It's a better version of that. And I would have been prompted to ask questions just from that very short problem with Claire. Really like that. Got to tell you, say that again. I like personas. So that's it. I think just getting crisper on the problem, a little bit crisper on the solution. And I think you get to the rest of it, and it's interesting. I would want to know more after all of that. So overall, good job.
Okay, Naz, any feedback you want to give before we go to John?
I was just typing in a chat, but yes, absolutely. I agree that I would like to know more. And maybe even as they suggested, going ahead and having it written out and scripted would be a benefit. So that way you could make sure that all those points are hit. But great job overall.
Yeah. And I really liked your tagline on your slide. I thought it could have been shortened to AI-enabled product management. It's a real problem that you're attacking with AI, not just sticking .ai at the end of your solution.
Yeah. All right, John, you're up next. You want to start sharing?
All right, fantastic. I will start sharing. Hold on. All right, fantastic. We ready to roll here?
Well, yeah, let me get my timer ready. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right, very good. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Diedenhoff, and I am the founder of Deeds Enterprises, LLC. Cyber and space is what we'll be talking about, specifically about ethical hacking of space systems with artificial intelligence. Here's the problem. Space systems today, our space systems now faced with well-documented hacking risks. We all know about it. They're out there. They're published. And these risks degrade global commerce and national readiness. We can help solve these problems. You already hear about ethical hackers, white hat hackers, penetration testers. We can help solve this problem, but also using artificial intelligence. And I've already started to prototype it a little bit there. And in doing so, we find cyber vulnerabilities before adversaries do. So Maggie, in response to your question, what it is, these are security assessments, they're penetration testing, red team, and ideally they keep us around to actually help formulate a solution to whatever the problems we uncover may be. So here's what it looks like from a market perspective. We're primarily looking at United States government initially. We have to go USG initially before we start going out to other foreign governments and that sort of thing. And these sort of things do take time, but even in a pure professional services play, we typically do see that hockey stick growth here within about 2 to 7 years. And it happens again and again and again. You know, goes around, starts a little bit slow, chunks along there, and then boom, it's off to the races. And we're also talking about a SaaS play, and I'll get to that. So what's our business model here? Building upon what I just said. We're engaging the United States government. This is just coming out now as part of the National Defense Authorization Act this month. The government's pouring more money into businesses like mine, Small Business Administration certified, service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses. We shape those small business opportunities. We build out our teams. We pursue those set-aside contracts. And ultimately, as we do this, we productize and we sell the AI models that we do develop. So we go from services to SaaS subscriptions. So fundamentally, what are we looking at? We're looking at 200K. We'll provide a more detailed one as we go through this course here, but the idea is we win and we excel at United States government contracts. So what does this mean? It means we get rock solid people on bid and proposal efforts, experts to help us develop those winning solutions, and also experts at actually developing winning U.S. government proposals. When I talk about rock solid compliance, if we're doing business with the United States government, we have to make sure that we have everything absolutely perfect relative to DCAA audits, CMMC certification, et cetera. So we want to be completely clean and we want to win and conduct business with unassailable integrity. So thank you very much for your consideration today. I stand by for any questions you may have at any time.
Okay, so you didn't use your time wisely. You had 25 seconds left.
True. I tend to rush.
Yeah, you do speak faster than most of the other people that have been on tonight. Okay. You put the ask in there. I think overall it was good. Your slides are too busy. They have too many words on them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're like that's intimidating. You don't want people reading the slides. You want them listening to you. This is true of all pitches. You should be the focus. When you're sending a deck, someone through the mail or email, whatever, or if you're hosting it someplace where they can take their time and look at it, then you can have more words. But when you're presenting, you want the focus to be on you. So you use fewer words on your slides and you could use more images. You had some cartoony things in there that were interesting. I would do more of that, more pictures of space or satellites or whatever, so that like, oh yeah, that's a satellite. I'm going to listen to John now. Not like, man, that's a lot of words I got to try to perceive.
Okay. Yeah, I could bring the word count down on some of those slides, make them less busy, and pump up the imagery. Some of the stuff that I had at backup did have more images, but I guess I probably could have pulled a couple of those backup slides into the proper deck. So yeah.
Jeff, feedback?
Similar feedback. You did a good job of being brief on everything. I think maybe, you know, you're in AI, so maybe use Midjourney or something to come up with some nice illustrations for you, for your process, and fewer words on the slides. I was trying to read it and listen to you, and I kind of know what you do, and I couldn't get through it. So, you have a good script and a pretty clear idea, so you can probably slow it down a little bit to emphasize the things you want to emphasize and still be able to hit your 3-minute number. So I struggle with this personally as well, because I can go really fast and talk really quickly, and sometimes I'll just blast right past people. So I think you'll have to work on that a bit. I'm generally curious about how you turn the professional services business into something that's scalable and repeatable. I understand you can develop bespoke things that you can license out to people after you're gone. But I think I would like to have heard a little bit more about, are you tuning a specific application that you have that does it generally, and then you're licensing that? Are you building a new application that you're leaving behind and licensing it, and then, doing maintenance in sort of a traditional bespoke software application type of way? So I would have wanted to understand a little bit more about, I understand generally how you do it, but if you have the time to explain a little bit more, I would have wanted to hear that. And you did have a little bit more time. But overall, I think you hit most of the high points, but you do need some work on your slides. They're fine to send to somebody, but they're not good for presenting when you're speaking to them.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I hear you all loud and clear. So fewer words, more images on that piece of it. Slow it down. Believe me, the struggle is real for me.
Yeah.
And also, let's see. Oh yeah, also talk a little bit about how we actually productize it, how we scale from there. Yeah,
right. That is going to be of interest to investors.
Right.
Investors are not, for the most part, going to jump into a consulting business.
True.
They want something that doesn't rely on your personal expertise to work. They want something that's packaged that lots of people can buy.
Well, yeah, I'll set expectations. I'm not sure how. This is pretty niche. I mean, cyber and space is pretty neat from a Venn diagram perspective. That's a bit of a sliver there. So define what you mean by lots. I will say
lots of dollars, right?
Lots of dollars. We can do lots of dollars because
right.
Yeah.
Well, just to give you an idea of valuations, right? A professional services business,
right,
a consulting business, is generally worth 1 times its sales. Whatever your annual sales are, somebody's going to buy your business. It's like you're doing $5 million. They're going to buy your business for $5 million. And it's really an acqui-hire. And so there's not a big market for it. Now, if you have a SaaS product and you've got subscriptions to something that doesn't require you and your staff personally to be there to manage it and scale it, those things are worth, 4 to 8 times their annual sales. So that same $5 million could be worth, $20 to $40 million when you get acquired. So if you're an investor, which one do you want? Do you want a business that's going to sell for 5 or a business that's going to sell for 40? So that's the reason for the importance of having something that you can license and it can grow and continue to crank out money even when you're not there to run it or book hours against it.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that is kind of the end of our festivities for tonight. Speaking of festivities, though, I want to wish everybody happy holidays and happy New Year, because we will be back on January 9th with, I think it's Leith Martin, and he's talking about preparing for due diligence. And then our last session will be on the 16th is our last pitch thing, but then we're also having on the 18th, we're doing a help session for the application. Oh, I should have opened the application link.
The 18th of December or the 18th of January?
18th of January. But it will be in the The email that we send that has this recording will have the link to the application for funding for Angel NV. And who was the person? I'm sorry that the person had a hard time logging in. Amna, sorry. Yeah, we were looking for you. You had signed up, so we figured you were ready, and then we couldn't find you. Okay, Nez is there in her Santa hat, and she's wearing a Santa outfit too. Wishing everybody happy holidays. All right, so there was a question regarding the pitch competition, more on the process. Okay, we shouldn't call it a pitch competition because it's not. It is an investor cohort that is going to make an investment in at least one Nevada company. And it's not a competition on the pitch. That's just the first part. When you're going to be spending 5 weeks doing due diligence. So this is actually the process that you go through when you do receive an investment from an angel or a VC. So the process, is there a link with how to qualify and sign up? You sign up and then you're in the pool of companies that the angels will examine. They get together. Our first meeting with them is January 23rd. At that time, they've got like a half day of learning, drinking from a fire hose, and then they will start looking at the companies. And we usually start off with about 40 or 50 people. So we break them into teams, and they have a leader of somebody who's already been through this, and they go through some of the companies and decide which ones they want to dive deeper into. So then you might get some questions from the DLM platform. And then the first process was actually the 3-minute pitch. Oh, Matt, right? I saw you were here too, late, because we tried to call on you to do your pitch. Your otter thing was here, but not you. I sent so many people emails, I thought it was canceled. Oh, sorry. Let's see. So that is the process. In the email that you'll get on Friday, it will have the link to sign up. We just need to do a little bit of editing on this video here. Okay. I think I've answered all the questions. You guys should all be on a calendar invitation that includes all of our sessions. And if you're not, please write me. I'm Maggie at StartUpNV.org. Let's see, AngelNV.com also has a link for the application. The link in the invitation didn't work for me, sadly. So Matt, do you mean, I've allowed you to talk, do you mean that the regular email that you get on this process, the link to today's session didn't work? Oh, I don't understand that. Okay, I will double check that everything in the emails is correct. Would you be able to sign up for the application on Friday or only the pitches that were heard today? The application is open. Anybody who wants to be considered by the angel cohort can sign up. But that won't happen until after January 23rd. I said that's our first meeting with the angels. And then the following week on the 30th is when we're going to start examining the companies. Okay, our next session is January 9th, as I said, so after the holidays. And Jeff has the Zoom link. All right, Chastity, you said you had a question. I'm going to allow you to talk there. Chastity?
Oh, yes. The question was answered with
Okay.
the pitch and everything. And the angel is Angel NV, so.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so there's actually no cost to sign up to be in consideration for the Angel NV investment, so I would encourage you to do so.
Yep. If nothing else, you will get real world criticism and feedback on the process. And there will be 6 companies that go through the grind of due diligence, and at least one will get an investment. Last 3 years, we've invested in at least 2. So chances are that there will be more than one company getting an investment, but we only guarantee one because we never know exactly what we're going to get from investors until we get into January. So, but chances are pretty good we're going to do at least as well as we did the last couple of years.
We hope so.
I had one question. So, I don't know if I read it somewhere or it was the video from that was pre-recorded on YouTube, but how much is the how much would a founder be funded by the investor and by StartUpNV? Is it two different numbers or?
It depends. So the first winner of the investment is a $200,000 investment, and the match from the state is the same. So it's a $400,000 total investment. But Jeff, explain what happened to the second place winner. So first place last year was a company called Ataract, and they had these actuators, and they're starting with the prosthetic industry. They can make prosthetic legs that have more torque and torsion, so it acts more like a natural limb. The second place company was a software company that does scheduling for surgeries. Specifically, they're starting with orthopedic surgeries where they have to bring the part in and the expert and a bunch of different people together. So tell the world, Jeff, what they did.
So the Ataract came in first, I guess you would call it. Got the $200,000 investment, got the match from GoEd, so they got a total investment of $400,000. SurgiStream, which was the second company that does the surgical scheduling, initially received a $145,000 investment from the group at Angel NV because we had raised $345,000, 200 for Ataract, 145 for SurgiStream. Then SurgiStream went to work and said, we can raise more money than this. Now that we have the 145, we're going to go back out to the market, tell our old investors, and we're going to write a deal memo to see if we can attract more investment. Ultimately, they attracted $352,000 worth of investment by doing that, which was then matched by the state for a little over $700,000 investment. So the company that didn't finish with the most votes the first time, you might think of them as the second place winner, ended up with a $700,000 investment, and the first place winner ended up with a $400,000 investment. So, really it can change, the idea, because once you've got one investment that a bunch of investors have sort of put the stamp of approval on your company, like we're willing to invest, then other people who are waiting for somebody else to go first suddenly pile in and make the deal worth a lot more. So that's possible. It's certainly not the first time it's ever happened. It's the first time it's ever happened for us, but it's not an unusual thing to have happen in the marketplace. So,
time though. You guys, they only got funded last Monday. So,
well, they took a lot of extra time to convert from an LLC to a C corp. So the legal process took them a little longer, and so the people from last year, the two companies from last year, raised a total of $1.1 million off of essentially a $200,000 guarantee turned into $1.1 million of total money invested. So it works the same way with our every other Wednesday pitches, where the fund guarantees a $50,000 investment, but the actual average investment is $230,000 by the time you add in the extra money that the LPs put in and the match from the state. So it's more than you think.
Wow. Okay, one more question. I don't know if anyone else needs to know this. So with an investor that does give the 200,000, they're just receiving a percentage from the business from after that, and so they see the return on investment.
It works a couple of different ways. So first, as a founder, part of what you put out there in the application is your ask. Some people say, I'm going to offer a percentage. Hey, I'm raising $100,000 for 10%. It implies $1 million valuation. Other people say I'm raising on a safe or a convertible note, and they'll state the terms around that. The valuation cap and an interest rate. It really depends on what's right for your business. You can start with what you want, But as you get into the final 6, and as we go through due diligence and you get feedback from our due diligence teams about the valuation of your company, like the SurgeStream founder started with a higher valuation than he ended with when he got feedback that said, I'm not sure you're going to get investment at the valuation that you're claiming. And he went back, talked to his other investors and said, yeah, we'll meet the offer, essentially the offer that the group made that we thought was a better offer that was more appropriate. And he was able to raise a lot more money that way. So you as the founder ultimately decide what you want to first offer and then accept, and then what the negotiations might happen. But before you get to that final day, before you stand up at the end and say and do your final pitch, we will have verbally agreed to the structure so that when the investors are voting on it, they know what they're voting for. Hopefully
Did that
that
answer your question there? Hi, John.
Chastity, that answer.
Yes. Thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much. That gave me so much more understanding.
You're the founder, you're the boss. You get to decide what investment you take and what the terms are.
John, you had a
question?
question?
Yeah, just building on that a little bit. So for the go-ahead match, is that dilutive or non-dilutive funding? In other words, would
no, it's not a grant, it's an investment. So
It is
it's the
investment.
exact same terms that we invest under.
Okay.
They're just a separate person on your cap table or a separate entity on your cap table with the
Very
exact
good.
same terms.
Yeah.
So it is dilutive.
No.
And you don't have to take it. If you really, I mean, there have been some founders that have struggled with, not sure I want to raise any more money at that valuation. But again, you're the boss, up to you. You don't have to take it. Most people do. I haven't had anybody refuse it yet, but you know, people will consider not taking it.
I think it'd be cool having State of Nevada go ahead on my cap table, honestly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that it's all the investors in Angel NV go in as one name on your cap table.
Yeah,
so there may be 40 or 50 of them, but they're listed as Angel NV Fund 4.
Yeah,
it's just one. It's an SPV.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
So you'll have 40 or 50 fans, but only one person to manage.
I like it.
All right. Anything else, Maggie?
No, Zora asked a question, so I just put the answer in chat, but I'll just repeat it. She asked about whether she had to upload a deck when she does the application. It's like, no, you don't have to upload it then. If you move through the process, at some point, you're going to have a pitch deck, but it's not mandatory when you first apply.
Yes, usually it's one of the first things the investors look at, right? Is they'll read your basic information and they'll say, where's the deck? And they'll start looking for it. And that's okay when if that deck is a little more wordy because people are reading it and you're not presenting it, that's okay. In that situation, it's okay to have a deck that's a little more wordy than the deck that you present with.
And you should think in terms of a 10-minute pitch for that deck. Do we give feedback on the applications? Not while we're going through them. We do notify everybody if they have not moved on to the next level, and we encourage the angels to get into the practice of talking to founders so that they can explain in general terms why other applications were selected over theirs. And it could be as simple as the market was not large enough. It could be that we had really great other applications where they're in revenue, they're already making money. Somebody asked a question about recurring revenue and evaluation. You can put the valuation wherever you want. If somebody's interested in investing in you, they're going to negotiate. If you don't have revenue, I was really surprised in our first angel cohort that they invested their decisions because they vote on everything. It's $5,000 per unit. They can buy up to 4 units and get 4 votes. So each angel is voting with the company that they like the best and thinks has the best chance to return the investment. And in the first year, the first place winner was a company that did not have revenue yet. but these ladies bent over backwards in the due diligence process. They were entering an interesting market that wasn't really very busy at the time. So those were factors in why they got the investment. Last year, Ataract did not have a product in the marketplace yet. It was very exciting, and they had other applications for their actuators besides the prosthetics, actually bigger industries like aerospace and construction equipment. The actuators were very strong, but very lightweight, and could go into aircraft and could go into construction equipment like forklifts or things that do this kind of stuff, where they have like joints. They can't do really long things because they're so flexible that they lose their strength over longer distances. But they had a lot of other industries in which they could pursue for bigger markets. So I think that's why Ataract really got the first place win last year. The surgery, that's a big market too. So, and he did not have,
He had some he had some revenue, just not a ton. Yeah, not a ton of revenue, but he had some revenue.
But he was a finalist the year before, had no revenue, and did not place. So he entered again the next year and could show that he had taken his learnings and then gone out and gotten sales and was able to enter this last year and get that investment and then go out and more than double it with his own contacts. Okay. Is this different from the regular Wednesday pitch session? Yes, it is a completely different fund, Sean. So Fund NV is the one that funds the accelerator companies. It's that $50,000 investment that Jeff talked about that gets matched by the state. This is a cohort, it's a conference fund. And so we don't know, as of now, we don't know what the amount raised will be. So we don't know what the amount invested will be. And its real purpose is to educate angels. It's to bring more people into our ecosystem who know how to invest in startups, because they're really the fire that helps us build this ecosystem.
So Zora's asking about how do you find your TAM for screenwriting and how just the entertainment industry generally. There's a Zora, you're in Las Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Patrick Griffiths is a name you should know. Patrick is the research librarian at UNLV, and he is amazing. He is not going to do research for you, but he will teach you based on the big databases that UNLV subscribe to, how to go searching through them. So if you, Patrick's name is in our regular set of referrals. And if you write to Maggie, she can, there it is right there. So Patrick is probably, he's like one of the best resources anywhere. And he's the total geek about doing research. And like he won't, like I said, he won't do the work for you. He may
he does. If you ask him good specific questions, he'll run it through the databases and give you the results.
But he'll also show you how to use it too. Yeah.
I would admonish you guys to start with Google. Just do your market research online and you'll get results, and the results will show which database it came from. And if you can share that information with Patrick, he can get you a lot of the reports. He doesn't have access to every single database. But Statista and BizMiner and, what's the other big one? It's got like 4 letters.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you Google it, you will get like partial results on Google, and they'll ask you to pay to get the rest of the results. Just tell Patrick, this is what I got. And he probably has a subscription to whatever that database was that was asking you to pay. If he knows what that is, he'll search it up for you. And there is a way you can actually do some of the searching on your own once you've learned how to use the database, as long as you're in the UNLV ecosystem on their Wi-Fi network, then you can access their database with your laptop. You can't do it remotely. You have to actually be physically on their network, though.
Okay. So that's a lot of advice and information that's kind of all over the place. So sorry about that, but you guys have questions, we're here to answer them. Okay, so again, happy holidays, happy new year. We'll see you back here on January 9th.